So it is only fair that the people I have all met while we started this call for justice together, howbeit I went Nigerian system. Okay, that's good. Turn off I say no satisfactory reports until, all right, no burial until there's a satisfactory report. Okay, all right, good. Yeah, essentially not my at this point, AJ. You know, we can't get justice. Why did you say that? Oh, great, great, great. So, Tempera J is saying we have to respect his father's wish. No justice, no burial. So, who even decides? Like, these are a lot of questions that I think I would like to know because Vegetable Highland. What are you going to say?
Sorry?
Why do I feel like I know what you're already going to say?
I think because of the comment I've just made, I think that's a really good question, AJ, because I've also been wondering. Again, everyone's had a great answer in the comment section.
Yeah.
It's his father's wishes. I thought, from my own understanding, the reason why Mobad was exhumed was so that he could have a befitting burial, because the way he was buried was just inhumane and not right. But part of it was so that there can be an investigation that will allow us to truly understand how this young man died, okay? Because the mystery behind his death is still yet to be discovered. So that's one of the other reasons. And I think thirdly, this issue of DNA also came up. So as far as I'm concerned, I think the only reason why he's still in the morgue is because we need a DNA test to be done to find out if that was a motive. Most importantly, for toxicology and autopsy results to be conducted. And then I thought thereafter he'll be buried. So I'm assuming, I'm not a legal expert, but from what I understand is that the coroner inquest is just findings, right? But it seems as though the autopsy and toxicology results are going to be read at the coroner inquest.
Yeah.
Okay, the issue now is that I think for some of us, not everybody, but for some of us, we don't trust the system, and we don't trust the way that the coroner inquest is being conducted to be fair, or for some of us, not all of us, okay? And I think that will prolong him staying in the morgue, okay, for an autopsy and toxicology result that can be trusted by everybody to be conducted thereafter. So there's an extension there, which is unfortunate. But I think once those things have been finalized and everybody is happy with the results and feels that the results are legitimate and not being tampered with, I don't see any, and the DNA is being conducted accordingly, I don't see any reason as to why he should remain in the morgue, because I think those are the main reasons, okay? But then again, it's really up to Baba Mubad to decide when is the right time to bury his son thereafter, okay? Because it must be incredibly torturous for him to wake up every morning for the past 8 months knowing that his son is still in the morgue and he hasn't been put to rest yet. I would find that incredibly unbearable, in all honesty, as a parent myself. Find that incredibly unbearable,
Yeah.
in all
Dr.
honesty.
Esther. All
So,
right. Thank you for.
so
Sorry,
yeah, so
guys. Please, vegetable highlight 1 minute, please. Guys, please do not send gifts while I am broadcasting for Justice for Mubad. Please understand with me for personal reasons. You could just double tap on your screen. You can power tap, and you can share the live. That is the only way. Probably you. I might want you to appreciate whatever it is you see us do, but do not send live. Do not send gifts, please. I would sincerely appreciate if you can do that. Thank you so much. Vegetable highlight. Go ahead.
okay, so from my own personal opinion, like many others, I feel as though once a toxicology and autopsy that's satisfactory has been conducted in DNA, then
So that is, what if the toxicology and the autopsy result is not satisfactory? He should still be in the morgue, right?
I think that's what will prolong the process. Okay. So what I'm trying to say is that the initial goal was not to keep him out for this long. Okay. I think when he was first exhumed, it was assumed by many others that this will be quickly. The police officers did that conference where they explained to everybody, home and abroad, that a toxicology and autopsy will take place and it should be ready within weeks. So even Baba Mohbad, I remember he came out shortly after that and said, oh, the toxicology and the autopsy result was taking too long. I need to bury my son. I don't know if you remember that. And
Yeah,
that was months back. But I don't think anyone expected it to take this long. So for some of us like myself who have been following this through, I didn't even think it was going to take this long for him to be in the morgue. I thought by now we would have buried Mohbad. Okay. But so many things have happened over that period of time. The system just hasn't been working as it should or as expected. The authorities haven't held up to what they said they were going to do in timely manner in terms of the autopsy and the toxicology results. There's been a lot of delaying, like, you know, Baba was saying that the coroner inquest is now closed and he had to go to Bereket in order for that to be reopened. So there's been a lot of stalling that is uncontrollable. So from what I'm trying to understand and what I'm trying to conclude is that I think Baba is ready to bury Mohbad from my own thinking, but the system is not allowing him to do so, because the process is not working as it should be. Okay. That's what I have figured out in my own little brain. Okay. But I don't see why he should still be in the morgue. I think it's wrong. And I think that's where the system needs to be held accountable, that this is already painful enough for the family. And he should already be buried by now. So, I mean, from my own opinion, I'll be quite happy for him to be buried after the father is satisfied with the results.
Yeah. Okay, now he should be buried after the father is satisfied with the outcome of the result. So it means that if the father is not satisfied with the outcome of the results, he can or he should not be buried. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, well, no. This is the thing. And Anne just answered my question. And I love Anne because we think alike. The other problem, thank you, Anne, for stating that, is that
What Anne is saying, I think I know what Anne is saying. Anne
yes,
is saying he is a state property for now. That is the key. So after the inquest, he will be released to the family to do whatever they choose to do with it, with the body. So if they want to still keep him in the morgue and pursue the case, it is totally at the discretion of the family. If they want to bury him, it is also at the discretion of the family. But another thing that is coming up is, will the outcome of the inquest determine if he's still going to be in the morgue,
well, the
or
thing,
it is a
this is,
decision of the father? Because sometimes it looks a little bit complex here for me, because I do not know if we are going to say, okay, whatever the father decides at the end of the inquest should hold water, or the result of the inquest should determine what happens.
this goes back to I'm going to allow Dr. Esther to contribute, but this is the problem, and this is why I always refer back to the system. The system is the reason why this has been prolonged. At the moment, Mohbad is their property, okay? Like Anne has mentioned, it is their state
At the moment,
property.
yeah.
They have prolonged this whole situation. So the conclusion is really in their hands, to be honest. And again, like you said, it's a grey area because they haven't confirmed whether once the coroner inquest is closed, which it should have been months ago, whether the body will be released to the family. It's a grey area. They haven't said that. They can close the coroner inquest and say there'll be no further investigation. We must bury the body because it's our state property. We don't know that. Okay. Again, we go back to the system being the failure of this whole process and not being very clear as to what the processes are. You know, the reason why I say that, AJ, is not to disregard the authorities of Nigeria, but if you go back to, I don't know if you've been following Berekete, because I know you've been on and off, but I followed through Berekete, and I remember that phone call he had with the officer who Berekete kindly asked, have you been allowing the family to know what the steps are taken, steps now, like what steps have you taken now in regards to the autopsy and the toxicology results? And the officer was really, really, he was very dismissive. Oh, I can't carry the family along. Are they scientists? Are they going to be able to understand this scientific terminology? That was his response, which was incredibly irresponsible. Again, it goes to show you that nobody needs, look, I work in science. Nobody needs to know science in order to tell them the process of what's happening with their son's body. But you can just at least inform them as the steps that you're taking. So again, I feel as though there is lack of transparency within the legal system. Yeah, with the system. And I think that the only thing that Baba can rely on now is his legal team to be able to intervene in this matter as to what will happen thereafter the coroner inquest. Because AJ,
All
the
right,
way...
I'll hold you on there.
Okay.
Sorry, I'll come back to you. So, Dr. Esther, I'd like to have your take on, what we've been talking about. Do you think that it is high time we talked about giving him a befitting burial? What is your take on that?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Greetings to um, Vegetable Highland on the um, on the platforms and everyone on the commentary sections. And thank you, AJ, for this opportunity. I greet you as well.
You're welcome.
In response to your question, I would just say this. I'm going to be blunt, and I'm also going to say compare it to a wound. When I say a wound, I'm talking about a bodily wound. Okay? There's this is an hypothesis in my head that I'm going to use to express myself in my own in my submission
All right, please go on.
regarding this. A wound can be an open wound or a closed wound.
Yeah.
A wound is open when it is fresh, and
Yeah.
a fresh wound could take as long as it takes until it begins to close up. Now, both fresh wound and the one that is closing up, it has the capacity to hurt. Even a closing up wound, if it's very big, it can still hurt you. But it's closed. That means it's being protected. It has sealed up the surface from infections and tetanus and all the rest of that. While an open wound is still susceptible to various infections, atmospheric germs, so it needs more treatment. But they are both
Yeah.
wounds. Now, having said that, I would surmise that Mohbad's body should still remain there. To me, the minute we take it out or they make the move to bury him, it's like a closure, a closed wound.
Yeah. Okay.
No more, it's not open up to any hurts, to any more infections, but it's still hurting, but it's not in danger anymore. Now, we need this situation to remain an open wound. We need everybody's heart that has been touched regarding this to still keep on beating until we get justice. The minute we'll go and bury him, it
So
is
I
a
want to ask you a
closure.
question now, Doctor. Who do you think has the say when it comes to deciding what to do with his remains? The Nigerians who are interested in the case, or the family? What if, despite what we want or what we think is right, the family chooses to want to, give him a beautiful
Okay.
burial? Do you
All
think
right. That is where
it's
the gray area, the
agree
tricky
with
area.
them? Yeah.
Okay, that is very tricky. It's a gray area because from the get-go, the body was being exhumed from agitation of the masses. It wasn't even the family of Mubad that made that happen. It was the masses agitation all over the world. And the government had
No,
to
no,
do
no. I
something. That
think
is
yeah, I know, but we cannot still that we cannot say that changes the ownership of the body,
that's where I'm
irrespective
going
of what
to.
Nigerians are doing. The body
Yeah.
still, I mean, constitutionally, the body belongs to the family, right?
That's where I'm going
And
to.
in
I was
in
just getting ready to
extension,
go. Yeah.
in
All
extension,
right.
they make decision what they want to do, irrespective of the fact that, of course, we came out and we shouted and we got
Yes.
the cause going and
You're
stuff like that.
absolutely right. I was just getting ready to, I was just getting ready to get there. That even though it was assumed based on the masses agitation, and currently, like Anne Asuko rightly typed, currently the government um in,
It's the government property
possession,
at the moment as we're
yes,
speaking.
at the moment, but immediately when the government releases, and I believe it will get come out of government possession once they say once they say they finish with the toxicology or what and every other test they are conducting on him.
Yeah.
Now it now remains on the family to bury him or not. So at the end of the day, you're
Okay.
right. It's the family's sole the sole authority to go further with the burial or not. Now, whether they will now go for that to say, all right, we accept what the government, the results and everything, let's go bury, is a different case entirely because the family may not be happy with the results of the government. But it's a gray area right now. It's where we'll now determine what to do when we get there. Depending, like I'm going to go back to what Vegetable Highland said, how it's going to play out. It's going to depend on a whole lot of things on the results. If they are happy with the results, if they are not happy with the results, the legal team, Baba Mubad's legal team, what they're advising, it's going to depend on a whole lot. But at the end of the day, you're right. It depends on the family to bury their son now whenever they are ready after the government release the corpse to them. But for me, I'm not going to suggest that we make a move to go and bury Mubad or ask the government to release the body. For the family should ask the government to release the body to be. No, let it still be there. Sylvester Omorenyo, what do you call the child that died in this school in Lekki, was just buried last month or 2 months ago after 2 years. There was a conclusion to the investigation of what happened, the toxicology, and it was buried just 2 months ago. I'm hoping Mohbad's case will not get to that. I'm hoping Mohbad's situation will not get to be as long, even half as long as that. But I'm going to say that no, we shouldn't push for burial now. We're going to remain there until we get justice. And justice is bringing the people, the culprits, to judgment. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Doctor, for that beautiful submission. Vegetable, can you unmute? You wanted to share
Sorry,
something while
I
I'm
have
talking.
such a big mouth, and I'm gonna have to expand on that. I can't help myself.
It's
I
okay.
think it's incredibly unacceptable for a government to conduct their findings or to investigate for 2 years. Not only is it painful to the family, it is just not. It's inhumane, whether the person's alive or not. I think it is. I think we need to hold the government accountable. Nigeria, abroad, wherever this will be happening, even if it was here in the United Kingdom, I would be saying, well, why do we have a corpse in the morgue for 2 years? What are you trying to say? Are you trying to say that the government is not capable, not necessarily you directly, Dr. Dai, or AJ, I'm just saying in general, this is a rhetorical question. But what are we trying to say, that the government of the whole of Nigeria cannot find intelligent, scientific people to be able to do the studies to find out how these children, okay, they're children, these children's cause of death is? It's unacceptable. And I think that's what we need to really say to whether it's the judge or whether it's the governor or whether it's the president or even institutions like Berekete, that this is not acceptable. And I think me as being part of this justice, that's what I found incredibly appalling, is that people in power who have the power to change the system as it is and how it's not working for Nigerian citizens can sit back and allow for these children that are dying in the most awful way, okay, to sit in the morgue and do nothing or work at a fast pace, to work at a fast pace to make sure that the results are received, to make it bearable and less painful for the family. I just find that incredibly painful. But look, I think that in Mohbad's case, this is what I always say. You're a doctor, Dr. Dyer. I'm a doctor. I don't know what you specialize in. I'm a gastroenterologist. But one thing that I know, when I was doing my studies and when I was learning and when I was at university studying about bowels, some of the most intelligent people that taught me what to do were Nigerians. I learned so much from my peers, from BSG to JAG accreditation. All my peers were Nigerian, and they were the most inquisitive and the most intelligent human beings I think I've met. So you can't tell me in the whole of Nigeria there aren't people who are able to conduct investigation on corpse. I don't really know how corpse bodies work. I wouldn't have a clue. But the fact that they even took the specimen or biopsies to America, to me, is just unbelievable. You're telling me there isn't a lab in Abuja that they could have sent the specimen to so that this could be dealt with in a fast-paced manner?
Yeah, could it be that the reason they did that was because they were trying to be sure that at the end of the day, people do not, raise questions as to the credibility of the result, because, as it is, a lot of people do not have that much confidence in the system back in Nigeria.
AJ,
that's the reason why they chose to do it in the USA or something like that.
I understand that, but the problem here, AJ, is that we've got a case that is high profile, and this was an opportunity for the Nigerian government to prove on a worldwide stage that they can conduct this without many people across the globe thinking that the results had been tampered with. But I think the reason why people start to have their doubts is because of how they had behaved throughout the investigation. Let's go back to even when Mohbad died and when they should have sealed the house and have arrested everybody within his, around him. The last 72 hours were not detained and so on. So there was a lot of missteps at the beginning that could have been dealt with accordingly thereafter. I think that's why people started to doubt, even up to now. People have more doubt now than a few months ago because of the way that they are behaving towards this investigation. It's almost as though they do not want to investigate. They already concluded how Mohbad died, but they just don't want to tell you and I. Do you think that's a fair analysis, or do you think that is unfair? But I know you try and stay neutral, but that's just my opinion as to how I see it. Had they in the beginning said, okay, we're going to take the specimen, we're going to take the biopsies immediately to a lab here, and had said in a timely manner, these are the results that have come back, and had been open and transparent to the public, this is what we have found and so on, it would have been no, but I don't think many people would have doubted it. But the fact that they have taken so long and have gone back and forth, and also their response has been quite aggressive at times, like when the governor was approached and was asked by a lady journalist in regards to this case and how far it had gone, his response was of someone who didn't want to deal with this. Okay, he didn't want to deal with this and he didn't want to be asked about this case. So again, they have not shown any signs that show us as the public that they are interested in finding out how Mohbad died or helping the family, whether it be the father or even the wife who was present, how he died. Okay, if indeed he died from injection from a nurse even. Okay, so I think there was a lost opportunity there. And the problem with what they did by sending that specimen over to the United States, it allowed people like myself to even do our own minor investigation in Pennsylvania, only to find out that that specific lab that they even mentioned does not receive specimens from outside of the country.
Are you serious?
I'm being deadly serious.
Yeah, because it was still on this show that someone from the United States came and told us that he reached out to that same institute, the same hospital, and they said that they accept, specimen from Nigeria, West Africa.
No. I called.
I do not know, but it was someone on this platform about 3 days ago. He said he reached out to them and he asked them if they have a downtime, if there is anything like that where you probably will not be able to meet up with the specific, the timeline you give to your customers or clients. And they said there wasn't anything like that. So the point he was trying to make was the timeline that the government told us that there was a lag in the timeline or there was a delay is not actually true. That was the point he was trying to make, that was not actually true, because when he called the hospital, they said they have never had any case where they had to, prolong the period with which they should be able to get back the results and stuff like that. So now we have to.
The thing,
Now we have. Sorry, I think there's a.
Do you know what? I'm going to be quick and I'll let Dr. Dyer go. Do you know what I have found out in this case, AJ? We come on here, we give our opinions, and we say this person said this. I'm now coming to you and I'm saying something else that will be slightly different to the last person that was on your panel. The only way you can find out is to do your own research. That's what I found out in this justice. And I have done my own,
No, I'm not saying.
No, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying.
Is it possible that the hospital tells two different people two different things? Is that possible?
Well, the thing is, they can't, for confidentiality reasons, they were not able to tell me if they'd received a specific specimen, which,
and
of
that
course,
was the same thing he said here. When he came, that was something the person said.
Yeah, so for confidential reasons, they're not able to share any sort of private information, which is a good thing, right? I mean, that would be irresponsible of them to let us know the ins and outs or details, specific details as to what they've received in their lab. Mm-hmm. But the second most intriguing question was that they didn't receive specimen from abroad. And I found that really interesting. And I remember at the time, I went back immediately onto a live with the Ish Talk and Olaide and somebody else who works in healthcare, who is also based in the States. And I said to them, this is what they just told me. I don't know if somebody wants to give them a call as well and see if the same thing, but that's what they told me. And I was there with my colleague. I work at a hospital. And I didn't know if what I was doing was appropriate. But I asked my colleague who works in the lab.
Mama D said I did. Okay, all right. What are you saying I did to? Was it that you were on the live where she said that, or you called the hospital yourself to find out, or what exactly are you saying I did to? Go ahead, Vegetable Highland.
So yeah, I think that was really interesting. But you know, but anyway, back to the matter at hand. I think we all can conclude that the 10 weeks is up since then, right? Since Bereketa had that conversation with that officer at
Someone else is supporting what you just said.
yeah.
Mama D said, I called and they said they don't take specimen from outside.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So that was a lab in Pennsylvania. I've even still got the details, I think, on a notepad somewhere. Because this is how I work. This is how I work. I think, AJ, if you, oh, you were on the ISH reg. Yeah. So you remember me saying that. But this is how I work, AJ. I'm a bit of a nerd. And if you say something to me, I'll write it down and I'll run. And then I'm like a little nosy rat. Because I want to sniff everything out for myself. I know it's so bad, but that's just how I work. And anyway, back to the matter at hand. 10 weeks is up. We still have had no result, and we haven't had any update. If an investigation is taking place and if an autopsy or toxicology has been done, why is there no transparency? Why are you not keeping the public informed instead of letting these rumors and gossip to fester and people getting arrested left, right and center? It's so easy. It's so easy. And again, it's so disappointing because I think this was an opportunity for Nigeria at large as a system to prove how intelligent the citizens are. I don't think this is a citizens' problem. I think it is the people in power's problem. Do you see what I mean, AJ? And I
So you
think
mean
that
there is no will from the side of the system to actually, get to the root of the matter. Is that what you're trying to say?
yeah, and also I think that they really need to work on how they look on the global stage, not necessarily for their own what am I trying to say, for Nigerian citizens' sake, for the good intelligent people that I know. I think that they need to do it for them, and they owe it to Baba Mubad and as well as the mother and Adura to give the justice that is deserved. What that justice may look like, I don't know, because again, we still don't have the answers to how Mobad died, right? So back to your initial question, what should we do about, well, should Mobad still be in the morgue? If the system does as it should be doing, the answer is no, because by now he should have been given the respectful burial, and this case would have been closed a long time ago, and the people that did what they did, or the conspiracies wouldn't be there, and it would be done. That's my answer anyway.
All right.
I'm gonna
Thank you so much, Vegetable Highland. So
Let me just
quickly,
quickly say something when I
so
can drop.
okay, go ahead. Yeah, sorry, I'll come to you shortly. Lizzie
Okay.
Ice, please. Let's allow Doctor, then I will come to you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity again. Yes, I'm a doctor in psychology and mental health, clinical mental health. Um, Now, regarding the issue about Pennsylvania, where they say the um, specimens were sent to, I never called. But I do recall many people, I have so many people that have volunteered responses about when they called, the responses that were given, that they did call and they confirm that the hospital accepted the specimen. So these about not accepting, I haven't called, so I cannot verify or say that's wrong or right. But I was here the day Bio was here, and he was expressing
Exactly.
that he did call.
It was Bio I wanted to talk about.
Yes, he was here, and he did express them. He explained that he called. They told him yes, but they cannot give information pertaining to the specimen that was submitted, who submitted, when it was submitted, when no information. And I could remember Abati was here and he was trying to make Bayo explain, okay, what did they say? How long did they say it would take? And wanted Bayo to say some things. Bayo was telling him that they were not willing to give that information, and but he was questioning that how is that if it was truly said. I was trying to get up here to say how things work over here. Yes, if they did accept it, they will, but they will not give you any information as to anything. And hospitals have we have the HIPAA law, which I'm sure Vegetable Highland would attest to that says that keeps your information, your profile and everything very, very confidential. They will not share it without your agreement. Your consent, you will have to sign to it. So, but they do have a general answer, and that was the bone of contention that the general answer they give are correct. If the hospital is telling you, this is how long it takes us to do this. When you submit this, generally this is how long it takes. Generally, this is that. If there is nothing breaking that or affecting the normal course and timeline of events, that is it. The way they said it is the way it is. So Bayo was giving information about what they said when he asked generally how long does it take. They said but he was trying to say that, but it may take longer. Even if they said this, it may take longer. And we were trying to say, if they said that for general information, that it is. It will not. And if it's going to take longer or something is going to affect the course of events, the timeline, it must be something that is outrightly was just something else may affect it. But on a due course, Bayo was saying the truth. Bayo was saying it as they told him. I could understand what he was saying and the responses he was giving. Now, back to what you're saying, that they said they do accept or they did not accept. That, again, I can't verify because I didn't call myself, so I really wouldn't know. But I've had more than 10 people that has confirmed to me that they did call and they said, yes, the samples were sent. I would like to get down now. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Esther Dia. Really appreciate your submission. Quickly, Lizzie Ice, can you unmute? Let's have your thoughts. Thank you.
Okay, good evening. I want to clarify something. I typed something, but my battery went down, so my phone was switch off. I said you need to study the case, right? Why I said that you need to study the case very well, because now we have two parties. One is for Wunmi and one is for Justice for Mohbad, right? Like the other day, I came to your platform and Boli B, they were changing some narrative. Like Baba was in the beer parlor, all that and that. There are different people coming to your platform for the first time. If they should hear that wrong information, they will pass it out to the other person. So me, I'm saying you should go and study the case. Like you should know more about the case. So should in case anybody that comes to your platform trying to spread wrong narrative, you shut them down immediately and clarify things. Because that day when she said Baba was at the beer parlor, Darusha called him, you did not say anything. We have been on this case for almost 8 months. There was nowhere anybody mentioned Baba sitting at the beer parlor. So that's why I said you should please study the case before you come back again. So should the case, I'm not saying only for Wunmi, even maybe the person that wants to speak from our own side too, you can still shut them up and tell them that narrative was not true. So people will not be passing wrong information. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Lizzie. So if you notice that there was I'm not trying to say anybody is wrong or anybody's right here. The court has the right to determine who is wrong or right. And when it comes to narrative, when it comes to stories, so if you agree with me, this case started from bullying, right? It was Sam Larry and it was Naira Marley, and somewhere along the course of investigation, other areas started coming up. When Baba went to the police station to report, he never narrated that there was blood when he went up to the house. He did not talk about that one. But when he went to the court, he talked about that one. So when they asked him why didn't he talk about the blood he saw upstairs to the police station, he did not have a reason for talking about the blood he saw upstairs. So what I'm saying is that as the investigation is going on, there will be other areas that you probably hear that you have not heard before. So if somebody comes up with a narrative, I am not in a position to say it is wrong or right. I will only tell you, take that as an evidence and go to court to plead your case. It is not my responsibility to prove what is wrong or right. Neither is it your responsibility to prove what is wrong or right. It is the duty of the court. Whatever we've been saying online, people have been listening and it has been aiding in the investigation. So if someone comes here and said there was a call that was made to Baba and Baba was at the beer parlor and he was one that said they should go and bury him, they should take that as a statement to the court. Do you understand what I was trying to say? So I'm not definitely you. I understand the part you're coming from. I should get grounded with the. Of course, I have. I have. What is it called? The CTC. I'm studying the CTC up until now, but that does not mean when there is maybe someone is giving an opinion and I have no reason to counter the person. The best bet is for the person to take that. If it's an evidence, take that. Use it as a witness in the court. I don't know if it makes any sense to you, Lizzie. Are you there, Lizzie?
I'm here. I'm
Yeah, so
here.
there are developments that are coming up. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say is that there are developments that are coming up every day that we do not have access to before, right? But in the case of this course, we get to find them out. So I am not in the position to determine who is wrong or right. Because who is wrong today, you might find out tomorrow that what he was actually saying was true. It was like when we started, the satellite was not on Mumi at all. Everybody was on Naira Marley. But in the course of investigation, we left Naira Marley. We went to Sam Larry. In the course of the investigation, the satellite have moved from Sam Larry. It is now on Mumi. The question is the investigation still on or not? If the investigation is still on, there are still rooms for other information to come up, and one information would lead to another discovery, and that is how it goes. So I think whoever is saying whatever they are saying, as long as they can prove it in the court, they have the right to their opinion. And if you
Can
notice,
I say
I will not come
something,
to.
Bayo? Sorry.
All right,
Can I say
go ahead,
something,
Lizzie.
Adrian?
Yeah,
You said something that the CCC is with you, right? Now,
yeah.
if that's with you, you study the case to an extent, and I know you are the first person to start this whole justice because I've heard it from other people. You understand? Now, if person like Boli B coming to say Baba was at the beer parlor when the Darusha
Lizzie,
called him,
now, Lizzie,
did you see?
let me repeat something. It's like there's something I wanted to say. You did not get what I'm trying to say. Do you understand? It is not my duty to debunk any opinion out there. As a matter of fact, I have said this over and over again. Yes, the police are going to get feelers from what we say, but whatever they hear here, they are going to use it for investigative purposes. It is the responsibility of the coroner inquest to use any information they hear or they see online, or the lawyers or the legal team see online, to aid their investigation if it is substantial. Do you understand what I'm saying? If it was my opinion and I gave it as my opinion, then you can question me and say, why would you say that? But it wasn't my opinion. Boli B can also come and force some of the opinion you hold and say it is not true. It's an investigation that is ongoing, and it is the court that has the final say. And we can challenge the court. I'm not supporting Boli B. I have not said what Boli B said is right. Neither have I said it is wrong. But the investigation is ongoing. And why I have this fluidity of thought is that I have learned a lot from this case. When we came out, it was on this platform we're calling the embassies, where Naira Marley was before he came back into the country. It was on this platform. But with that energy and everything I have seen, I have learned to not to conclude on anything too fast. Do you get my point? So I cannot say Boli B is saying the truth or Boli B is lying, because it is not my responsibility to determine who is saying the truth or who is lying. But whatever they are going to say, let it be used as an evidence for investigation. However, I
Okay.
still agree that whoever is saying whatever is not logical or it's not an established truth in a sense, but it's an issue of call. Anne, I don't even want to say something quickly.
Okay, I just wanted to say that I'm not even going to go on that bit, but the bit I'm going to go about is to say, because you mentioned something about this Naira Marley and stuff. I'm looking at it from the point of where the police didn't do the due diligence on this case. I mean, they went with the euphoria, the emotion that, we, the public, were crying to say, justice for Mohbad, why was his neck broken and all of that. And I find it really disturbing, or I don't know if anybody has faith, if I can have faith in these people, in the police system here, as far as this case is concerned, because if, people are crying,
Anne, sorry,
some,
please, Anne, 1 minute, please.
yeah.
Before you continue with your thought, please, can we just conclude this with Lizzie Eye so that she doesn't lose her
Okay,
line of
okay. Oh,
thought? Lizzie, can you
sorry. Okay,
just
all right.
let's wrap this up? Let's come to let's come to a middle ground and let's then go to Anne. Is that okay? You wanted to say something, Lizzie Eyes? Lizzie Eyes, are you there?
Yeah, no, I said okay. I said okay, I've heard you.
Okay, so I'm not trying to say what you said was wrong. I totally understand, and it's a good thing for you to say. I should study the case, which I've been studying. And the funniest thing is that some of the things we also see in the case, because of how how it looks as if we cannot come out and say certain things on air. It makes us look as if we are trying to support the other party. Because even the same Mohbad's father agreed to some of the things, allegations that Mohbad made against Mohbad, that Wunmi made against Mohbad. But nobody is talking about that. But I do not want to go there. So that is why I'm saying that the investigation is still on. The most important thing is that whatever we're hearing right now, whatever information is coming up right now, it should lead us to uncover the manner of death and the cause of death. If it is not leading us to any of these two, it is very inconsequential. That is my opinion. And a lot of people can have their opinion. But the most important thing is that whatever anybody says, whatever information anybody has, should lead to one of these two things: the cause of death and the manner of death, which will now lead to further investigation into the people who has a hand in his death. Do not forget, he talked about the, what is it called? People giving him water to drink. When he drank the water, he said he was not going to travel because he felt that the water was poisoned, and he did not leave the country for 6 months. How did he know that the water was poisoned with substances that might trigger something at the airport? Can you see where I'm coming from? So investigation is still on. It can go anywhere. Go ahead, Anne.
Okay, so as I was saying, let me just, because I like to build my thoughts. Basically, as I said, the public were crying, this guy died. And as far as we're concerned, there's a video out there. The basis for our cry was there's a video out there where they showed where this guy was being bullied or beaten by supposed Naira Marley fans or Naira Marley fans. And he said, if I die, Naira Marley knifed me, So everybody ran with that. And to me, as much as I am justice for Mohbad, I tilt on the side of the fact that the police did a shady job. Two things. The police did a shady job. They ran with our emotions without doing due diligence to really say, okay, let's really investigate this case. Let's really find out, particularly to the last place, where did this guy die? If he died at the show and they came up with their 13-man investigation, police press report, that would have been okay. We would go with that. That would be perfect. Vegetable Highland, I don't know if you, because we tend to think alike. That would have been perfect if that is where they went through. But the fact that this young man died in the house, and they have just played coy, if that is the right word, to everything that happened in the house. It's like they went to that house. Okay, they got reported speech. Okay, what happened? The nurse came, and then and then he gave him injection, and then he fell down or whatever, and then and we're gasping for breath, and then we took him to hospital, and then BID, and they are not asking to say, particularly Monday, what were the chain of events that happened to this young man? The inconsistencies, number one, they came back from a show. It was a minor court, as Wumi said in the CTC. As Spending has said, which I don't think is updated yet, as DJ Bami said, okay, as Adura had said, oh, they had to clean him with whatever, and that was that. But the police came out with bleeding profusely. Leave that aside. And after then, after the, it was a minor court, blah, 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 blah. You treated him with spirit and stuff. What happened on Monday? The same Monday, the mother called. Let me speak to my son. Called at 6, nobody picked. She said 9, nobody picked. 12. What can I speak to my son? Have you heard anything, Wumi? This is Wumi telling the mother-in-law. And have you heard anything? She said no. What happened?
So Anne, I want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
So, because this is shrouded in so much secrecy, and we really cannot, conclusively say this is the person or this is who we should hold responsible for now. Don't you think that if the pathology is out, then from there, investigation can now reveal the people we should actually hold responsible? That told us this is a manner of death and this is a time of death. Is that not something that is?
No, I disagree. You know why I disagree? Because ideally, investigations are focused at the place where. Can you mute your mic, please?
Oh, sorry, guys. I should have done that.
The place. If you're doing an investigation, you're in the UK. If you said, okay, somebody has died, that is why they cordon that area. They just cordon it with the blue tape.
Well, you realize that they gave a report.
Their report. That's what I'm saying to you, AJ. Their report was rubbish.
I'm coming. That is what I'm saying. Is it not the outcome of the the inquest that they will check to corroborate if it aligns with what the report says? The report said he had a court. The father also came and stood, in the court, and also testified to the fact that he saw a court in his hand.
Okay.
So if his father agrees that there was a court, the wife said there was a court, everybody said there was a court, and the nurse came inside. If that is actually a lie, and what we're actually saying that there might be something more, isn't it the result of the autopsy, the toxicology that will now prove that? Then we cannot take it up from there.
Okay, AJ, you know what? So I don't lose my train of thought. Let me just get there, and then you see my point, right? But let me quickly answer your question. The truth is, yes, there is a court, but based on investigative process.
Somebody said the father did not specify any court. That is not true. The father said he saw a court in his hand. He's in the court. The father's statement in the court that there was a court in his hand. Go ahead, Anne.
Okay, so as I was saying, to me, and not even to me, normal processes is you cordon the area of the incident, you do your forensics there. You do data for investigation starts from that primary place where the deceased passed.
I agree.
Because the boy got back home. If you go by the police report, this young man made his way home. This young man did not die on Monday. By the police report, the young man died on Tuesday. And the police, you people did not, the story or the stupid botched report you came up with on investigation is based off of hearsay. Now, being a very smart police department, the fact that there was a video out there on the same social media that they saw the one of Sam Larry, where they were carrying this boy in the car. Mohbad is dead. Mohbad, and one person was looking as if he was laughing. That one looked as if he was crying is number one. The fact that there was a news published on Instablog that he died of ear infection is number two. So that should have just opened up their thinking cap to say, let's really do a proper investigation. The investigation they did was based on hearsay.
So I think if I get you correctly, you're like
information.
Yeah. So if I get you correctly, are you saying that because they did not, cordon off the area where this incident happened, right now it might be too late to get certain, information?
Oh yes, yes, of Oh yes, of course. Because two things, AJ. Let's look at it. Let's be blunt and honest here. Two things. If you want to go by that, of course, that is why it's not a stupid thing when police, in normal practices of the world, they actually cordon an area. Because first things first, the forensics there. If let's even say like, okay, because if you listen to the CTC or you heard the last testimony of coroner inquest where Spending said they fought. Adura mentioned about fighting. Okay, he said he heard a loud noise upstairs. If you go and check the CTC, Adura mentioned that. That shows you, that just tells you there that, you know what, there'll be evidences there. Clear. And the syringes where they found, is it 3 or 5 in that room? Evidences are there.
Yeah.
So you have to do your data forensics. You have to do proper forensics on the property so that you can pick up any evidence, you know, of DNA samples, body count on the people who were there, and then do proper investigation. It's just normal practice. So that at least you can really confirm for say that what they are telling me of saying, oh, this is what happened to him, and what we have seen collaborates before you come out and give a press release. Because even in their press release, you would realize that Monday seems to be silent out. It's cropped out. There are no chain of stories that collaborate what really happened on Monday. It seems like Monday is blurred out of the picture. Like, you know, okay, Monday is just like, it didn't exist. The only part that Monday existed is, the mother called. That's it. What happened Monday afternoon? What happened Monday night? Did he sleep? Did he go to bed? What did he do? Did he engage with his phone? What did he do? And you have to also think, this is somebody who is a music guy. This is somebody which people say normally he would be on his phone. He would have updated. There would have been a clip of the show. You know how they do it, AJ, even David.
So all this right now, can it establish the cause of death and the manner of death accurately in your
Annie.
all this investigation?
Yes.
Do you think it can establish the cause and the manner
Yes,
of
the
death?
law back one.
As precise as, can it be more precise than the pathology?
It's not. AJ, look at it this way. Look at it. Not that it can be more precise.
No, because what I'm asking is that I feel from what the police,
Yeah.
I feel from what the police have said, right, and what the coroner have also said, is that we are going to go there. I understand your position. You're saying that all the necessary evidences that might also aid the investigation has been taken off. For example, 1 minute they said his clothes was changed. So you probably want to ask, who removed his clothes? Who changed his clothes? When his father got to the house, he realized that he was putting on a new clothes. So who changed the clothes? Where is the former clothes?
Yeah.
Who wore him the new clothes? Do you understand? Those are the questions you probably want to find out, right?
No, not just that. Listen now. Okay, let me just pay. You know my thought moves fast. Let me let you know this. Let's go. This is a hypothesis, okay? Let's say it comes out Mohbad was poisoned. The fact that he's poisoned is a fact. The postmortem has helped you realize that he died because of poisoning. Now, how do you establish where he was poisoned if you don't have data forensics? Okay, second, another hypothesis. Mohbad was stabbed. Lacerations were found on his body. Maybe a large artery, blah, 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 blah. How and where do you confirm that, okay, for a fact, it's not just the minor cuts at the show is what led to these lacerations on his body? Where did it happen? You see what I'm saying now? So that is why normal standard processes in, let me use most civilized countries, they would do that
I totally agree. That is the standard. Of course, I agree.
That is
but
my
right
issue
now,
with this case. That is my greatest issue, AJ.
Yeah. So do you think that...
Yeah, go on.
Go ahead. So do you think that right now... Go. Let me allow you to finish up your thoughts.
Okay. So to me, that's all of this that has been flawed. If the result comes out and says, okay, he was stabbed, he was poisoned. Now, they just using that poison, it would now make the focus of investigation broader. You'd have to think they would now have to go back to square root. What did he eat? Where was he? What was his last place? In the house? What did he eat in the house? What did he drink at the show? Was it a drink?
Who prepared the food?
Yeah, is it the food? Blah, blah, blah. So it's a lot of places to start trying to find out. And they would have cleaned up evidences as well, not just from the poison.
Who shaved his head? His head was like my head. They shaved his head.
Okay.
Who shaved his head?
So there's a lot. There's a lot of, places where they would have missed. So even if this result comes out now and they say, okay, you know what? Yeah, we found out that there was lacerations. They accept that pathology would expect, or the chief coroner to say, the lacerations were in XYZ of his body. And it's a deep cut. And then they now have to now begin to establish, okay, so the cut he had at the show, how was it? You're still relying on mouth witnesses. You can't find the object that these lacerations happened on, because that house that those criminals are living there, AJ, you know, they'd have cleared up stuff. The only thing that you find now, if they still go there, would be the blood in that property. For sure, that one, the blood, you can't wipe it off. You'll still be there. So to me, AJ, that room, particularly the duvet, everything around there should have been cut, should have been sealed off. Proper forensics. Test everything. Test even the last people that touched his body. But all of that was not done. And then now, look at how they even exhumed him. If you go and watch the video, it's gruesome. It's, you know, it's worrying. AJ, they wore gloves. All the other part of their skin was there. So their body fluids, their sweat or whatever, could have been touching on that body. So they have, to me, this is why I feel like they have botched this, you know, investigation. So now, if it comes out that it is laceration or pathology, they would have to start from square one. But even then, they have limited things to work with. The only thing I can rely on, I can thankfully rely on, AJ, is data forensics. Data forensics would save the day here. Because and it has to be somebody who is trained in homicide to begin to connect the dots of the calls that were made. Now, don't forget this knob of a girl says, oh, industry gods. Oh, my father, the mother says, oh, my husband killed me. But it's industry gods that killed him. At one point, Prime Boy. At one point, Naira Marley, Sam Larry. The mother is now saying, oh, the father of the boy.
Ear infection.
Thank you. So you see how muddled up it is.
Let me just add on to that, AJ.
I will pause that for now. Let somebody else speak. Sorry, AJ.
From the beginning on your platform, if you can remember, this is what I said, that at the initial stage of Mohbad death, in that house, nobody should have stayed in that house. If you can remember, from the very get-go of this case, I asked that question. I said, what are they doing in that house? Nobody should have stayed in that house, because this is where the case begins, from in the house. If everybody was going to leave that house and get detained at the police station, where they put cautions around that house, and the police carried on their investigation, where nobody should even go closer to their house, then at this point, we were going to know what happened to Mohbad. Can they do that now? Can they do that now at this point? I kept saying it over and over. Nobody was thinking about it. I said, in that house, what are they doing? Even the mom, the widow, what are they doing in that house? Because it's the house where they will get the evidence. Because if you can recall, she said they dragged him from the other room to the other room. Why? Why? So what can we do now, AJ? What can we do now?
The best position. The legal team will be in the best position. That is what they are paid for. And not so, somebody said it's too late, but even the best we can do is to make sure we have a legal team that is sound enough to be able to, handle this properly. There is little we can do. We have a legal representative. Mohbad has a legal representative, and I think that is where we need to wake up to their responsibilities. If you ask me what I mean.
Even the first stage in that house could give us justice. The first stage in that house could give us justice to Mohbad case. The first stage that led to that house could give us justice. I said it from day one. What are they doing in the house? And they were there. They were happy.
Yeah. there's nothing more to gather from the house. All right, thank you for that beautiful submission. Please, so the question is this. I'll come back to my question for the day. Why we actually came up for this live is just to pick your brain on something. But before I ask that question, Lizzie Ice, you wanted to say something? I should just go ahead. Your thoughts on after the corona inquest result is out, should he still be there in the morgue, or should he be given a befitting burial, or we should wait for whatever the family decide and we are work with the family's decision? What is your take? A lot of people are saying we have to keep him in the morgue until we get to the conclusion of the matter, even if it's going to take us 5 years. Because the truth of the matter is that you really cannot put a date to when this case is going to come to a conclusion. Nobody believed it was going to take this long. When we started, we thought it was going to take maybe a month or two, but right now it's taking from more than 7, close to 8 months. So if we are going to say let's wait till we get to the conclusion of the whole matter, doesn't mean even if it takes 5 years, it should still be in the morgue, and we keep going. What's your thought on this?
Remember, that was your last question before you took a break. I remember, you know my mind, right? That was your last question before you got off on TikTok.
What do you have? What is your opinion? What is your thoughts? Lizzie Ice.
Okay, my opinion, in my own opinion, exactly what you said. We can't wait. Maybe if this whole case takes 5 years or 4 years, we can't keep Mohbad there 5 or 6 years. You get. To me, I feel when the whole issue of this toxicology and whatever is done, if they can still get the sample, the necessary samples they need from Mohbad's body, I feel they should take from there. Then they bury Mohbad. We'll move from there. We'll still fight the justice. Because lying Mohbad there almost a year, no, I don't even wish my enemy that kind of thing. You understand? So, but we can't leave the justice. We'll still fight for the justice. But the necessary things should be taken out from his body.
Thank you. So do you believe that if he is buried today, a lot of people are going to... Someone said if he's buried today, a lot of people are going to probably think the case is over. They're going to lose interest. Good evening, Whisper. Yet said no justice, no burial. What is your take? People think if he's buried, it's going to affect the ginger, maybe the energy and the grace people have towards, pushing for justice.
It will.
They will forget. Someone said they will forget. Grace.
It will.
They will forget.
It will. Yeah. People are going to lie low because they already buried Mohbad. Yes. They feel of no interest anymore. But me saying they should do the burial, I mean, if we are close to the justice, then we can do the burial. Like I said, they should take the necessary samples from his body. Whatever they know or they want, they can take that thing from his body, keep in a safe place. Then they can bury Mohbad when we are closer to the justice. Do you get? Because we cannot leave Mohbad there for 6 years, 3 years, or 4 years.
Because
it's not
no dates
possible.
to how long the case might take, right?
Yes, it's not possible. And now, if we should bury Mohbad early, it's left for us who are fighting for the justice. It's left for Papa Mohbad who wants justice for his son. It's left for the lawyers, the legal team who wants people to be proud of their name, that they did something. It's left for everybody now to still put more energy that we must get the justice no matter what the government tried to do. You understand? So if they bury Mohbad, it's not like people are going to just lie low. If people are lying low, we should not lie low because we want justice. So we'll keep on fighting for the justice. But keeping Mohbad there almost 2 years, 6 years or something, I don't think that's proper, please.
All right. Vegetable Highland said his father has a lot of financial burden to keep him in the morgue. Legal fight, etc. No justice, no burial. There's a lot of eye-watering cost. Okay, so do you think the cost is going to be a factor? Don't you think Nigerians can actually foot the cost if it is necessary to leave him in the morgue until justice is gotten? Is cost going to be a problem? Is cost an issue right now?
No.
Is money a problem?
Money is not a problem, but...
So, Vegetable Island, I think money...
Yeah, money is not a problem.
Money is not a problem. All right. I think on that note, I said this wasn't going to be a very long broadcast. I just came up to make some clarifications, and I had I had a question I needed clarity on. What is the way forward? Because definitely at the next corona, hopefully we should be able to hear the result of the test that was conducted, and if that happens, what is the way forward? And from people on the panel, some people have said, let us not bury him. Closure means forgetting the case, and to other people, they feel we should just give him a befitting burial while we still pursue the case legally to a logical conclusion, because the truth is that, in my own opinion, the case is just starting because of the multi dimensions that are, kind of involved in this case. After the result, it might be a long walk home. Who knows? To everyone who has been here, thank burial how we're asking. It might be a long walk home. So let's just keep our fingers crossed. To everyone who has been on the panel, thank you so much. I had just 1 hour to come up and do this, and to everybody who probably left off from the last conversation we had, where we had some it was more like a debate on this platform. This platform today wasn't more like a debate. We needed clarity on certain areas, and we had to come up and do this. So for those of us who were here last time and we had both parties, thank you, Ashabi, but we do not want gifts. Sorry, please, just double tap on the screen. That will be enough. Thank you so much. When we discuss justice for Mohbad, please do not send in gifts, for personal reasons. So that is that. I want to say thank you, Anne. Thank you, Lizzie. Thank you, Love by Faith, for always being there. Thank you for everybody out there who is standing for justice for Mohbad. And I pray that by the mighty special grace of God, we would get justice at the end of the day. Thank you so much. See you guys some other time. Bye-bye. Somebody said no Baz goes today. No. This is not a place for Baz goes. Bye-bye. See you guys some other time. Bye-bye.